Stop overthinking street photography right now. Hi, it's Peter here. The next 11 minutes I will tell you 7 points that will make you not overthink your street photography. The first tip, you're already doing street photography every time you walk through a city. You don't realize it yet. Here's what I mean when you're constantly looking around and seeing photo opportunities. So you're kind of photographing with your eyes anyways. So why not just grab the shot? Easy as that. Because in street photography, you don't need to have these big grand projects or big ideas and really something unique. Because recording the everyday life, the everyday street life is really valuable, and it is street photography. As I said, it doesn't have to be something that changes the world. If it does, fine, then it might be even bigger than street photography. It could be journalistic or documentary. But just photograph what you see is interesting and what you find interesting. You can't go wrong with that because it is you. Because if you find something interesting, nobody can argue about it. And the second thing is, you don't need a permission. Street is an open canvas for everyone to photograph. Of course, there might be some restrictions what you can publish, but in many countries, in most countries in the world, street photography is considered to be part of free speech. So, as a tourist, whatever, go and photograph things that you like. No one can stop you in that. So there's no reason for you to be scared of photographing. And I was making a video a few weeks ago too about don't feel the fear when you're photographing. You might want to watch that after this video. I will put a link in the description too. Just go out and photograph. Enjoy the moment. You have a permission. It's totally fine. And then the third one is about the gear. And this is really great because when you're doing street photography, any gear you have is totally adequate for that. You don't need any special, big, expensive, long lenses. You can use your phone if you feel like that's the camera that you are most comfortable with. Photograph that and record everything that you see. Document your surroundings with your phone if that's what you like. Or if you have an older digital camera, be totally fine because street photography is all about the moment, all about the feeling, all about documenting stuff that happens on the street. It's not about technical quality. If you start overthinking the technical quality or if you start thinking that my camera is not good enough, don't. Just go out and photograph. That's why I think street photography is one of my favorite genres and in a way the easiest because I can photograph it with any camera. There is no pressure to get the latest and the greatest. Just a normal small camera is totally fine. Just use that and go on with it and enjoy. And then point 4. I've made a video about how to be invisible on the street and it's actually quite easy. It is just to blend in. It's just walking normally and do your everyday business and go out and photograph. Usually when I'm photographing Helsinki, I might act like a tourist. People don't really care when you're photographing. I'm just looking around, maybe when I'm looking at the buildings and I might be looking at someone walking towards the building and photographing that person or something like that. But just act normally as you would as a tourist. But then when I go abroad in a different city, then I try to be a local, so I'm not a target of anything because of course there are some safety issues in some cities. Try to learn to look around with your corner of your eye, then you will have a lot more possibilities. So being invisible is just acting normal that you would in any situation. It's easy as that. And then the 5th point is that there isn't a thing called bad light. That's another gem of street photography, that every light is good because bad weather makes it interesting, overcast weather makes it interesting, bright sunlight makes it interesting. So any light is okay because it's not about the light in that sense that it is in many other genres. Of course, if you have light pockets and a lot of contrast, that could be interesting, but an overcast weather with no contrast is totally fine too. It's just a little bit different because street photography is all about the moment, the situation, and the gestures and what's interesting. The 6th one is perfection is not the goal. And this is important. many of us overthink because we think that the image should be technically perfect. It should be pin sharp. It should be perfectly made exposure and all that. But in most cases, street photographs do not have to be technically perfect. The composition doesn't have to be perfect. It's all about having small mistakes so that the image becomes more interesting. There is more genuine feel of the image when it's a little bit off, because then it is more about the feeling that it's been photographed quickly when you see a moment. That authentic feeling comes through when you have a little bit things that are not perfect. Because if it's too perfect, then it looks like it's set up, and that doesn't, feel right when you're looking at street photographs. I'm not saying that you should deliberately make totally wacky mistakes, but embrace those little mistakes that happen when you are out in the street photographing quickly things that's happening around you. That's more genuine, and it's more about you, genuinely you. That's how I feel it, because too perfectly done street photographs are not that interesting. The interests come from, of course, what's happening, and then, of course, the mistakes. And remember, after point 7, I will have an extra point, like most of my videos have. And the 7th one is, you need way fewer shots than you think. This is also something that people get overwhelmed, is that you think that you need tons and tons of keepers. No, you don't. Usually when I go out and photograph, I have 1 or 2 keepers that I will actually keep. I will show a lot more images in my videos, because just having a 1 image would not be that great. But of course, I usually tell you guys which one is the image that I would have kept from that. And I usually have a couple of, and sometimes I don't come up with nothing. And then I have to go back because I need to show some decent images on these videos. But you don't have to. You get 1 good shot that's a keeper. That's a very good. So having 12 shots a year that are good and keepers is a good amount. You don't need hundreds and hundreds of good images. If you get that, fine, but none of us do that for sure, unless you're, what do you call the what's the word? Requirements are low for what is a keeper. Then of course, but that's up to you, because sometimes an image that it's not a keeper, it might be a keeper because of the memory of the situation or the feeling that you had when you took the image. And that is, of course, important image for you. But when I'm talking keepers, I'm talking images that might resonate with others too. So always remember that. And the bonus tip is that the overthinking cure is just shooting. I've been talking about overthinking quite a bit recently in my videos, and to get over that is just go out and shoot. Just shoot everything that you find interesting. Like I've said a couple of times in this video, if you shoot a lot, you will get used to it, and then you will start shooting less, and you will start getting more keepers. So don't overthink every street photograph that you're making, because that won't help. There's too many things that happens around you. There are so many things that you cannot control because people are moving in the city and there's always something happening. Embrace not overthinking. Just enjoy and press the shutter button, and that will get you those keepers. And I have you an assignment. Not that you need to send them to me, but just your own practice. Go out and shoot everything that you feel is something interesting. Don't limit yourself too much, and don't think. Just, you see something interesting, take a photo and see what comes out. I know you will get a lot of crappy shots, but there will be some gems in the mix. And that gem will take you to the next level, because when you start doing that, you will find also not also the gems, but something that are bridges between the gems. There might be some image that is not a standalone image, but it could be a very good, set of images. That's why I think practicing shooting everything that is interesting will make you a better photographer. And remember, street photography is no competition. There's no scoreboard or anything like that. Of course, the judges, there might be your viewers. When you're showing the images, they might judge you, but don't worry about those. If you enjoy the moment and enjoy the process of making the photographs and stop thinking too much and more reacting with your feeling, with your gut feeling to anything that is interesting, you will get a lot better. Because I think that's the biggest barrier for many is that they overthink and kind of think what others would mind. Should I do that or not? Well, the situation is gone if you do that. Just free your mind and click the shutter. You will get a lot better. And here is the video that I was talking about in this video. You might want to watch that next because that is helping you to shoot without or photograph without fear. But hey, thanks for watching and bye for now.